Psychology of Human Resource Practice, Assignment 2. The Downfall of Hasbro Interactive by Lois Berriwa. Content: Introduction. Factor that led to the failure of the business. Main contributors. Personality traits and abilities involved. Social factors involved. Various reactions ignited by various traits. Recommendations. Introduction. Hasbro Interactive was a successful game business that decided to innovate. But due to overambitious goals and a set of integrated factors which were anchored in poor management practices, the business ended up being a failure. The most important factors that led to the failure of Hasbro Interactive. The major cause that contributed to the collapse of Hasbro Interactive can be attributed to a set of intrinsic and extrinsic factors. The main contributors. Mr. Dusembre, the general manager of Hasbro Interactive, displayed higher scores of effusiveness, neuroticism, and a low score in conscientiousness. He was also a power seeker. Mr. Baum, who was the chief executive officer, also had some levels of neuroticism and was not enthusiastic about the job. Mr. Asenfield, the CEO, showed some traces of representativeness. He made Mr. Dusembre manager and Mr. Baum chief executive officer of Hasbro based on the good things he knew about them in the past. He also built too much trust in Mr. Dusembre. The social factors that contributed to the failure. Organizational culture, such as top-bottom approach in decision-making process. Working climate, lack of openness, trust and interaction. Recruitment of wrong personnel. Improper planning, implementation and evaluation systems. High dependence on fake goals. Lack of training and capacity building. Personality influence and reaction to contributors. Mr. Dusembre, who was highly emotional and neurotic, continued to pursue the $1 billion goal due to envy and jealousy for the CEO position. Mr. Baum, with the same neurotic trait, was giving support to Mr. Dusembre on the lump sum goal because he was also interested in gaining a bigger position if they achieve high levels of performance. Recommendations to Hasbro Interactive. Hasbro needs to identify a clear vision that should be common to all employees. The recruitment process should focus on matching personality with their job roles. It was an innovative project, and therefore it was very important for them to fit in personality traits, cognitive abilities and skills with their specific roles, and this was absent. As an interactive, innovative company, their process should also be interactive, with a bottom-up approach in decision-making and a climate of trust and openness, as this is a key factor in any innovative project. You can't go innovative with an interactive game, and at the same time, you forget about innovating your process by which you are going to achieve that goal. So that was a big problem. And for an innovative program to succeed, it is supposed to be an interactive collaboration, and there was supposed to be a form of networking system with everyone concerned in the business, especially their customers. Also, they should operate on a well-defined strategic plan, implementation, and evaluation. They need to evaluate for them to see the level of their business, for them to see the success that they have made. And they need to follow a clear and defined plan. They need to organize roles. They need to fit in roles and people. And at the same time, monitor their implementation process. All of this was absent. An incremental approach to innovation rather than radical approach. It is very important because they had a strong foundation built on games and toys. So therefore, if they wanted to go to an interactive game, their focus should have been on incremental innovation, a slow and straightforward improvement on what they already have. And based on the successes that they make, they will know that it's time for them to go radical. Because you can't focus on one end of the business and you forget about the basic one, especially knowing that you are taking a risk, because a new business is totally a risk. Thanks for your attention.